Hello Aquarius, and welcome to your March forecast. It's great to see you again, and I can't wait to see what kind of energy, information, and guidance is coming through for your sign this month. Just a quick reminder that you can always use this for your sun, your rising, and for your moon sign. And if you want to watch for someone in your life that you care about, this also works for that. If you don't happen to know all of these signs, just stick with the one that you were born under and you'll get the guidance that you need for this month. This month, we'll be breaking everything down, looking at a full Celtic cross, then expanding to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. Of course, I like to start with the channeled information, which I'll be getting to in just a second. But before I do that, I just want to say, if you like what you see here and you would like to support the channel, stick around until the end, and I'll go into a few ways that you can do that. I'll also put some of the information below, but I know that you all came here for the forecast, so I don't want to waste a lot of time doing that. I want to get straight into the channeled information. Each and every month, I like to begin by selecting a deck of cards that I'm going to use for each sign. And as I was doing that for you, I tuned into what messages came through. And in this meditation, the first thing that I saw was like a ball of yarn really wound up tightly. And I felt this sense of needing to let go, needing to release. As I went deeper into the meditation, there was sort of this questioning or longing that was associated with the compression of energy. So your channeled information this month is twofold. Do what you need to sort of prepare, to research, to find things out, to sort of sketch out what you're trying to do this month, and then let it go. Because I feel for some of you, you're either holding on to this fear that you might be having, or desire that you're having, or you're just kind of keeping things in. And look at your posture this month, look at the way that you're approaching things, and think, where can I let go a little bit? Why am I holding on? Is it because I don't know what's going to happen if this doesn't exist in my life? Is it because I'm afraid of what possibly achieving that goal could mean for me? Or am I just holding on because I want to be safe? If you look at, it's kind of like a nesting behavior. If you pull a lot of things around you and keep them close, then you have this sort of barrier around you. So sometimes people do that with physical things. Sometimes, they hide in a crowd of people. Whatever it is, sometimes it's putting a lot of clothing on. I feel like there's a little bit of a protection that is not necessary this month. You could let it go a little bit. So do the research, figure out what you want to accomplish in your month, and kind of, if you need to ask questions or sort of get some reassurance that you can make that happen, I think that's really what that is. Meditating, preparation, understanding, getting to that point where you know what you want, what you're seeking, why you're doing it, and then just let it go. And the letting go is the most important part. So sometimes it's important to realize we can only control things to a certain degree. Once you've done all that homework, once you've set everything up and put the foundation in place, at that point you have to sort of just let the universe support you and do the rest. So that's the advice for the channeled information. Let's take a look at the cards and see what additional insights they yield for the month ahead. I like to remain quiet at this point, so I will begin to talk after I've pulled the full Celtic cross and the catalyst. So just stand by as I'm doing that. Thank you so much. Your message in the catalyst this month is not to worry so much about punishing yourself or punishing others or casting judgment on yourself or others. This is the sort of ultimate responsibility of one's own soul. After you pass, you get a chance to see your life and how you affected others, and you actually get to feel how they felt when you did things. So if you had a life of great healing and great love, you feel that come back to you. If you have a lot of unresolved issues, a lot of pain, a lot of lower frequency energy, you're going to process that during your life review. So what you can look at with other people, say there is someone in your life that's an antagonist, they constantly make you feel angry or upset. One day at the end of their days, they're going to have to sort of learn from this. But in this life, we're not there to feed that energy with kind of giving them the reaction that they want. nor are we there to cast more judgment, pain, or anger in their way. What they're really looking for is this sort of quick fix. It's sort of like when you go and get a sugar snack or something just because you need something now, but there's this crash afterwards. When somebody hurts somebody in their life, they may get a sort of rush immediately, but then there is the regret, the anger, the self-hatred. Some people in your life might be stuck in that cycle, because when I see this, I sort of see someone hurting themselves in your life, and it could be you too, but what I'm going to say is release the pattern this month. It could just be you have such high expectations of who you are and what you want to be that you'll never be happy. So I'm saying step back a little bit. I got that wound up energy. Release a little bit and look at all that you're doing well in your life and celebrate that. And if there's someone in your life that just drives you nuts, you may even use the word that, like you hate them, you don't want to see them again. Release that energy as well. And release the connection that you have around them. Because I feel that there's a binding that's happening between the two of you. And we see some of that here with this. You can cut those strings. You don't have to. Once the strings are gone, they can't connect with you and you can't feel that sort of pull, and you won't be feeling like you have to get angry or that you want them to sort of understand what's going on. The release is going to be your freedom this month. And I also want you to, again, release yourself and others from judgment, because I think that's sort of what a judgment and or the need to punish. Now, on the flip side, if you're sort of into social justice, let's say in your past somebody did something that triggered you in a way where you thought, no, I want to make sure that other people in my life don't have to go through this. This is how you can transform that energy. You can become an agent of change, and instead of going after the person that themselves may have been a victim and ended up sort of pushing out this energy in a way that wasn't productive, you can figure out like what's going on in society and the world that created that energy. And once you understand what the root of the energy was, you can start to change it so that it doesn't happen again in this world, or that people like you that might have been experiencing something in the past won't have to go through it again. You can become an advocate, a change agent, and you can start to love yourself and others. Self-love is really important this month, and release, okay? Came again through this, so hopefully that makes sense for those of you that need to know it. But overall, I think there's a general message here to just be easier on yourself, okay? Let's go now into the Celtic Cross itself, look at each card one by one, and break down the messages that you are receiving. We have a beautiful card at the center, the Shaman, also known as the Magician. And what this is showing is an ability for you to create whatever you would like to create. Your reality can be one of joy, growth, and development, or you can kind of be stuck in a pattern where you're feeling the need to sort of be in a place of pain and stay there. This month, I'd like you to create new things and focus on your gifts, your opportunities in the world. Shaman, of course, also connected with healing. So this might be a good month to go to a doctor, to go to a healer, to dig a little bit deeper into the mystical side of life, because you have a great power and a great connection with that if that's something that you choose to embrace. But the center card is one of power. And as I was thinking a little bit more about the channeled information, that tightly wound energy did sort of center itself in my solar plexus chakra, and this happens a lot when I'm reading for others. And that definitely is a connection with relationships. A lot of times it can be child and parent. It can also just be someone who has power over you, or you've given them power. So focus on balancing those power dynamics and release the hold that these people have on you by reclaiming your power. Right on top of that, we have the Ancestor, which is also the Hierophant or the High Priest. A lot of sacred cards. I mean, I love this deck in general. It's very nature-based and very druid-based. But with the Ancestor card, there may be someone that from your past has sort of been on your mind lately. There also might be a desire for some of you to seek out counsel, because a Hierophant card can be someone really experienced, someone that you trust, just someone in your life with a spiritual connection. A lot of spirituality at the center here, so feel free if you want to explore that this month. The Ancestor, or more specifically the Hierophant, usually indicates organization in one's life. And so one thing that can help you reclaim control is simply by bringing order to things. Looking if whatever you feel is sort of out of hand this month. It could be your finances, it could be a relationship, it could just be your house. It's a great time for you to sort of think of, what do I need to do to get organized? And that was that preparation message that came through in the channeled information. When we look back at what you've been working on over the past couple of months here, we have the Eight of Stones or the Eight of Pentacles card. The interesting thing with this particular one is you do get a sense of being pulled into your own space. And the card reverse is saying, for those of you that have been spending a lot of time alone with contemplating, learning new things, because for me, Eight of Pentacles is always a card of perfection and expansion. This is a time to reach out for help and to actually start to connect with other people. There's that helping hand there that wants you to be a part of the world. There's someone trying to get your attention. If you're feeling lonely or isolated, some of this might be because you need to break out of your protective shell, which is something that I was picking up on earlier. So take a look at things and again, sort of figure out, why am I doing this? You might be retreating into work or school or activities, because that's what Eight of Pentacles can represent. Those are bringing you joy, which is good, but don't hide behind them as a way of not facing other things in your life. When I'm looking at what's affecting you right towards the beginning of the month, maybe some unresolved things from your recent past, we have the Page of Arrows in reverse, and arrows are swords in this particular deck. And for you, that could mean that you're feeling a sense of critical thought, maybe again, being hard on yourself. Your vitality could be also at a lower place. And vitality is sort of how you feel when you wake up in the morning. Are you feeling a little down? Are you feeling like you're just being pulled back a little bit? And if so, then what this can be is a need to sort of change up your physical activity, change up your sort of the schedule that you have each day. Try to infuse a little bit of change, because ultimately swords are about being able to get out there, communicate, take action. So there's something that's either a little bit stagnant or a little bit counter to that overall energy of movement and change. Just moving in and of itself is going to be a key to making that shift. In your crowning position, we have the Ten of Bows, or the Ten of Wands. And this is about a new journey that is awaiting you in perhaps this month, or I would say even the year ahead. Oftentimes the Ten of Wands will come through right before you're ready to make a big move in your life. Literally a move to a new place, like a new place that you're going to live, a new job. It can also show energetic shifting that is happening within your own body. So for those of you that have been doing spiritual work, which I saw with both the shaman and the ancestor at the center, this could be a chance where you're now ready to kind of go an extra step outward and kind of evolve into whatever it is you've been trying to do. It can show, like, that's a fancy or long-winded way of saying graduation. But if you've been having recurring dreams about moving, about leaving, about traveling, this energy is very much supporting that, and it's in your crowning position if we take a look at how this is organized. So this Ten of Wands is a result of the work that you've been doing on yourself, possibly the work you've been doing with teachers, all of the studying, all of the research, and that really goes back to what we were talking about preparing and releasing. So you are supported if you're ready to make that change. The important thing is, how does it feel? I got that wound up energy, so you have to let it unravel and start to let it happen. Looks like there are a couple of things that might be holding you back from allowing that change to take place. The first one is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, or the Ten of Stones here. If you look at the caption on this one, it actually represents home. And for some of you, there could be a sense of safety in your current surroundings, whether you're feeling at home in a relationship, in a place that you work, or literally in the walls that surround you. And with the card being reversed, there's a need to know that home is wherever your heart and passion take you. And this movement card here is saying that you don't have to stay in one place just because you've always been there or it's been a tradition. There's also a caption on this one that says responsibility. So looking at what it is in your life that is either tying you through a feeling of obligation. Maybe you're taking care of someone, or maybe this was a place that you were given, if it was a house, or it's a job that your father or your mother did, and you feel like you have to step into their shoes. You don't have to if it doesn't feel right. So this is about shedding a skin this month as well. If we were to kind of think of a snake that kind of has to grow, the only way it can do it sometimes is to shed its skin. Now, one of the things that's really key for you this month is to go through your dreams, your emotions, your fears, your hopes, your desires. This is what your ego is. We have the moon on water here. And I actually like that they're combining moon and water, because for me, water is always symbolic of the emotional component. The moon is a powerful nocturnal symbol, which is showing us sort of the shadow or illusion side to our life. Once you sort of dig into what is it that I'm afraid of? What is it that I want to create? This is how you can start to heal yourself. This is how you can start to understand yourself. And a lot of times our motivations and our true triggers come from places that we may not want to remember or explore. When you shine the light in the darkness disappears, and you're left with this sense of empowerment, and no longer are you beholden to the fear. So I'm encouraging you to kind of go a little bit deeper this month and think, what is it that's really making me uncomfortable? What do I need to know to kind of get past this, and ask for the help that's necessary there? We have a really positive card here in your environment. The Three of Bows or the Three of Wands. This is, as you can see here with the caption, fulfillment. And for some of you, you are right on the precipice of allowing for this big shift, this beautiful change to happen. A lot of the dreams, the wishes that you've been putting out to the universe, they're right around the corner. And all you have to do in some cases is believe in them and let go of something that you've been holding on to, a past template of yourself, the fear that sort of has been cozy and kind of like a blanket, because it can be if we just sort of hide behind that fear. What I'm seeing also for many of you is a very bright quarter of the year that's coming through as we look at the next 3 months. So I'm reading for March. This would be April, May, and June. So much brighter, so much more energetic, so many more blessings, apparent blessings, I should say, because we always have them even if we don't notice them. It's just going to feel easier for you. And in fact, there's a lot to celebrate about as I'm looking at in the opportunity space here. We have the Six of Cups. There could be a reunion on the horizon for some of you, a connection with someone that you'd lost touch with. You could also have something going on with a younger person in your life. It could be a younger brother or sister, it could be your own child, or there's just this connection of felicity, celebration, happiness. For me, the Six of Cups is beautiful. It's soulmate energy, it's brother-sister energy, it's celebration. And so that's what's coming through on the other side. That's the only thing that you need to sometimes be able to embrace, because wherever you're at right now, I feel like the next 3 months are so much better. Embrace it. Allow the change to happen this month so that you can sail through what's coming right after it. So at the very end of the month, we have one little block or one little thing that you have to kind of play around with. And we have the Two of Stones or the Two of Pentacles. I love that this is kind of represented by two hares or jackrabbits here. And what this is showing is that you can embrace the challenge this month by seeing it sort of in a playful way. So if we were to look at a couple of examples, if you're having budget challenges, if you're looking at money and thinking, how can I make it work? You could challenge yourself on ways that you could save money and sort of celebrate the fact that, wow, I clipped this coupon and I saved this money, and now I have money to do something that I didn't even think I could. You could save up for something. The challenge could be, all right, I want to take a vacation. The money's not in the bank right now. But if I wait 5 months and I sort of put this together and each month get a little closer, then I won't have to put it on a card and I won't go into debt. Have fun with it and have goals that you celebrate. You should be able to spend and enjoy some of the money and resources. This is all about resources because stones or pentacles are about time, money, energy, love, all of those things that we can spend. So I want you to pick and choose what is worth spending time and energy on. And it's all about balance. One final note that I'm noticing with this is that there's also an element of fertility that I wouldn't normally see in a Two of Pentacles, which shows someone like on a tightrope balancing things out. For this, the key to achieving the balance and being at peace with it is this idea that it can be fun, it can be something you can work with, play with it a little bit. And in doing that, you release this feeling that you're never going to have enough. Because as I'm looking at the past, for many of you, you've already done the work that's necessary to bring in more abundance. Eight of Stones or Eight of Pentacles typically is a card where whatever you're investing, whether it's going to school and you had to pay some money to do that, and yes, you might have student loan debts, but it also opened up an opportunity. It's sort of like that exchange. You give a little, but then you'll get a little. So I want you to just think now it's your time to start to receive. Open your heart up, open your energy up, and think, I'm just going to play around with this. I'll be able to work my way through it. See it as a dance, a cosmic dance, and you'll be able to be okay. All right? Let's go ahead now and expand the forecast. We're going to look a little bit deeper at the areas of health, wealth, love, and destiny, starting off with your health card, which for me is indicative of mind, body, and spirit. And the message this month is answering the call, the time is now. The card came through in the reverse state, but I want to pull it close to the camera so that you can see it in the upright position. And what's nice about this is it's just showing that this is the month to take a step in the right direction. It isn't necessarily the month when everything happens. It just requires you to show up. And so if you're trying to find a way to be healthier, to be happier, it's about taking a step in the right direction. Maybe it's increasing your physical activity, improving your diet, going to the doctor and getting a checkup if it's been too long, not being afraid to sort of see what is going to happen. It may be better than you think. But this is a month to do something proactive about your health. Also, if there's someone in your life that you're worried about, this can be about intervening, either in a small way or literally kind of organizing a group of people to get together and talk to that person and say, hey, it's time to take care of yourself. But this is a first step month. It's not when everything is going to be solved. Just take that first step. All right, let's look now at your wealth, knowing that wealth isn't just money, but it's how you approach all of the opportunities that are coming into your life. The message for wealth this month is to listen to yourself. We have clear audience here. And it says, notice the loving guidance you hear inside your mind or from other people. The interesting thing with this card is it came through in the reverse position, which is really encouraging you to not second guess yourself. And so, I don't know, you've probably heard the phrase that sometimes you can read a face or read a room or have a gut instinct of what's going on. I want you to listen to that, whether it's, some of that is empathic, some of it is just, we have clear audience here, but some of you may have it in a more subtle way, sort of like clairsentience. You just feel it. You just know it. And so whether you hear a voice, see an image, feel something in your body, or just in your very core know that there's something that you must or must not do, as you navigate through this month, your intuition is your most important gift that you can have, but particularly because we're looking at wealth with money. So if you don't feel like it's the right time to sell your house, don't. If you feel like it's the right time to leave your job and try something else, then do. Basically, what I'm trying to sort of drive home is just the idea that you know when it comes to timing, what's the right time to do something, and you also know if it's right or wrong for you. That's all that matters. And so let that be your big decision making sort of factor when it comes to money this month. So we looked at health and wealth. Let's look at love and see what's coming through for different types of relationships over the course of this month for you. So forgiveness, and wow, we talked a lot about that earlier. The card came through in the reverse state, but I want to read it first, which was, I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. And that could have been what I felt wound up for some of you. And if you can't forgive someone else, forgive yourself. You have to start there. Forgive yourself for, sometimes you beat yourself up thinking, oh, I should have stood up for myself. I should have tried to get out of this. If you were truly victimized by a person, a place, or some sort of situation, then you have nothing to blame yourself about. And you just have to forgive and love yourself first. If you ever get to the point that you can understand or empathize with why it happened, that's the next step. But if you can just let go of this feeling that I had to do something different, or I'm kind of like playing this loop in your head, once you let that go, then all of a sudden your heart opens up and people around you can come in. And that's really what we saw way back at the beginning with that helping hand here that's on the wall there, on the cave wall. So don't block yourself off anymore. This is a time to ask for help, to forgive yourself, maybe to forgive others, at least to try to understand why that happened. And I was talking earlier that if you can see people and situations around you as aggregates of their life experiences, then you know that there were things around them that created that energy. And so they were called into existence by something else. And maybe your energy can go into how to change that in the world rather than putting that one person in a place of being bad or evil. And then that's how we can shift consciousness and shift energy on the planet and create a better place for all of us. All right, let's look now at destiny. Destiny shows sort of a GPS, a chance for your free will to either embrace the path on which it is currently headed or to do a course correction and find either a new destination or a different way to get there. Okay, this card was coming through here. Transformation card here in the upright position. Just like to read it together with you. Transformation, intuition, patience. and the Swan Queen here. We're already at the point now where this sort of development has happened. And this is what's at the other end of the rainbow for you. Wherever you're at right now, there's this ability now for you to take all of these lessons, all of the joy, the pain, and everything in between, and feel this sense that, wow, it brought me to where I'm at right now. See yourself as more beautiful because of all that you went through. Have you ever noticed that some of the most fascinating people in the world, they had a difficult beginning? It isn't always the people that had everything from the get-go that are the ones that are kind, that are inspirational. It's the ones that have a story, the ones that got through something, the ones that transformed. So if you're in that second category, celebrate the transformation in that process. If you're someone who's just looking to change your life, that's what this card could be indicating. And what we saw is that ability to go wherever you want to go. Don't see it as you walking away from responsibility. It might be you embracing your true self, in which case the universe not only can, but it will support you. Let's now review everything that we talked about, and then we'll wrap up this reading. As I said at the beginning, there was an energy that felt kind of tight or compressed as I was tuning into your sign. So the key component this month is to release. We saw that again coming through in your relationship area. So there might be something that you need to let go of because of pain that you caused yourself or others. And so no matter what end of the spectrum you're on, you can forgive yourself. You can ask for forgiveness too if it was something that you did to someone else. And then also just kind of doing the research that you need to get ready to make a decision. But remember, intuition is really key. So let that be your final element. If you've done everything and you still feel like you're not ready, honor that. Your soul will let you know when it's the right time. So we already talked about both the catalyst and the channeled information. So let's now go card by card quickly and talk about all that we just discussed here. A lot of powerful spiritual energy coming through at the center between the shaman and the ancestor. So know that your soul development is in a very good space. I feel like many of you have done a lot of work, but there's this energy that you've been pulling too much sort of into yourself. It feels like you've been hiding behind responsibility, some of you, or just being afraid to kind of come out into the world. So don't do that anymore. If you're ready, show yourself in the light and know that this is going to open you up to new love, new opportunities. We have the Page of Swords in reverse. We talked about this can be a sort of limiting force in your vitality. The way to get around that is through expression. Speak your mind, get out there a little bit more. Don't be so critical of yourself. This is a great time for travel if you haven't done that in a while. The 10 of Wands can also be a card for taking a small trip, a holiday, a vacation. There's movement that wants to happen. We have the 10 of Wands upright and we have the 10 of Stones or Pentacles in reverse. This is house, home, relationships, and money. And this is showing movement. So for many of you, if you connect the two, there's a need to sort of move, to change. You have to kind of go through your emotional state first though and see how that feels. Once you've allowed for this release and transformation to happen, we have some great things here on the in the environment and in the opportunity space. 3 of Wands, again, a good quarter of the year that's ahead of you. The 6 of Cups showing a really great sort of celebration or reunion or healing that's going to happen. And this playful energy that then allows you to sort of transform energy around fear of resources in your life. Find it something that you can handle. Again, looking at things as a challenge that's fun that you can overcome if it's money or time or energy. For your health, take a stand, do something this month, make the first step. For your wealth, listen to yourself. Listen to what's going on in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. It's going to lead you in the right way, in the right direction. Forgiveness, forgive yourself and forgive others. Notice how those 3 were reversed, but once we look at your destiny card, it's upright. So once you forgive yourself, once you listen to yourself, once you take the first step to be healthier and happier, that's all you have to do. This is really about letting yourself be in a place of happiness, of joy, not worrying so much about other people, especially the ones that drive you nuts. Let them deal with their own energy. Once the healing happens here, there's a lot of celebration, a lot of joy that is ready to come rushing into your life, okay? I hope that this gave you the guidance you need to analyze what's going on, to be prepared, and more importantly for you to sort of release whatever you've been holding on to. If you ever find yourself at a point in your life where you would just like to talk to somebody about whatever's going on, a big decision, etc., I'm happy to help you out with that. You can take a look at the first card and the first link below the video, and if you click that, that's my booking site. You can look at rates and availability, and if it makes sense, I'm here for you. Also, if you just want to give back to the channel because you like what you see here, I've made it really easy to do so. You can click on the second card or the second link below the video, and contained within that link is a way to either donate through Patreon or through my website. Something as small as $1, it makes a big difference in allowing for me to set up the time here, and also it's a great way to even out the energy exchange. So if you really got something out of this and you want to make a difference, $1 either one time or on a monthly basis, it's an amazing way to do so, and I just want to say thank you for all of you that have already done that and continue to support me. The third way to give back and to sort of participate in what I'm doing here is to share this message. So if you like what you see here, I'm going to put information about my social media. It's the third card and the third link, but you can join me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, also my newsletter, and then share that message that I'm putting here on those social media networks. Because word of mouth is very much appreciated. It makes a big impact in me being able to spread this message and help more people. So choose one of those if it makes sense for you, and I really, really appreciate it, and it's a great way to support me in the way that I'm supporting you. I like to end everything with a bigger picture, not just for you, but also like for all signs. So the big picture that I'm seeing for you, I think it's summed up with this card, which is forgiveness, and finding a place in your heart to know that you're going to be okay. Whatever has happened in the past, you have a wonderful ability this month to transform. And even if there's some sort of a challenge where you're not sure if you can do it, have a playful approach. The playful energy, both of the Six of Cups and the Two of Pentacles, is showing you that abundance will come. You just have to sort of not be stuck in this moment where you feel limited a little bit. There's a lot of helping hands out there as well that want to find their way to you. So hopefully, you know, I'm one of them, but there's a lot of people around you in your day-to-day life that want to help you too. So embrace that energy, and it could be very powerful for you. I like to imagine that all of you that are looking at this video start to kind of light up the planet. This month I've been talking about, you know, you can Google what it looks like when the planet's dark at night from outer space, and you see all these little cities lighting it up. I think your souls are exactly like that. You're beautiful, you're resplendent. The more you shine, the brighter this planet is, the better the frequency feels, the more we can all move towards this beautiful swan card that we see here of transformation, growth, and realizing that we are not the sum of all this stuff in the past. We are what we gained from those experiences. So the past doesn't define us. It helps build us into something more beautiful than we could have ever imagined. Wishing you love and light now and always. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again next month.